Anna was touching up her makeup, but inside the car window, a pair of eerie red eyes appeared. The next second, Anna was abducted by the kidnappers in the car. When she opened her eyes again, she found herself in a hospital room. The man beside her noticed she had woken up. He began to tell her everything. It had been 15 years since she was kidnapped by the criminals. After years of tireless efforts from the police, she was finally rescued. But no matter what the man said, Anna only responded with one sentence.
This is a game.
The man explained to Anna that when she was rescued, she had a significant amount of neurotoxic drugs in her system. The kidnappers injected them into her to control her, so now, she was mentally unstable. Anna stared at her reflection in the mirror on the wall, then looked at her young and beautiful self from 15 years ago, and fell into deep reflection. Back then, she had been abducted, and was imprisoned in a cage resembling a prison cell. No matter how hard she tried to walk, she could never escape. It was a terrifying maze like an endless abyss. There was no light, only a lamp above her head that would flash intermittently, following her every step. The cube also had a maze-like game on it. At first, she passed the first level. As a result, a door in the hallway slowly opened. Inside was the food she needed most. After eating the food, she passed the cube game again and received a bed. But gradually, Anna realized that the maze game on the cube became more and more difficult, until she could no longer solve it. Days went by, and with no food or water, Anna became extremely weak. She went to the filthy toilet, and stared at the murky water inside. But in order to survive, she had no choice but to compromise. Unable to bear it anymore, she threw the cube away. But just a few seconds later, she picked it up again, because she knew every move she made was being watched by the kidnappers. If she acted out of line, she had no idea what kind of torture would follow. She could only keep solving the game. Meanwhile, a senior detective learned through the news that the missing girl had been rescued after 15 years. It turned out that when the girl disappeared, her parents had paid a high price to hire this detective to help. But in the 15 years, despite his tireless efforts, he had found no clues. However, the girl's sudden rescue made him feel that things weren't simple, especially since he had already been notified by the hospital that he was critically ill and wouldn't survive much longer. Before he died, unraveling the mystery and catching the kidnappers became his last wish.